Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Mr. Greenhands, and today we're going to show you a simple method that's been used for many years, but a lot of us have forgotten it, and that is how to dismantle a pallet. It is a little bit more physical, but yet very useful, especially for those people that don't have the tools.
Breaking a pallet is never an easy job. Don't give up. You have many things to do. Try and keep trying again. But sometimes, just not enough. Using a hammer might be a situation, but then you get frustrated.
I am sure every one of us have seen ourselves being frustrated, just like my friend there, by dismantling the pallet. We've got a few equipments, we have bought expensive things, and you find it difficult to be able to dismantle it. And sometimes we know tools can help. They're very expensive tools, but like myself, who doesn't have all the finance all the time, there's a simple, fantastic way that we can actually use. These are pretty much the easy things that some of us already have these equipments already. I'm going to be using 2 pieces of wood, actually 3 pieces of wood, but 2 pieces which are longer than the other, which are, I'll just show you guys them. These 2, and I call this the wedging simplicity idea. It's basically, I'm going to be using these to be creating a little sort of pressure in between the joints where the nails are, and that will create a pressure onto the nails and getting them out. I'm going to try to do that as well by not splitting the wood, and one of the best ways to not split the wood, I have actually come to the understanding that wetting your wood or pallet actually makes the wood quite softer, so you guys can add that to it as well by just dampening it or leaving it out in the rain, and then a day afterwards you can dismantle the wood. Makes it a lot easier. So I'm going to be using these 2 wood. I'm going to be wedging something in between it. But guys, remember, whenever you're doing this, please take note that depending on the gaps that you have available in the pallet makes a difference to sort of wood or whatever equipment you're going to put between it to brace it apart. Because for example, in this one here, this is a wider opening of the pallet compared to this gap here, which is a very smaller gap. So I'm trying to use these in here, and straight away I notice that I'm not going to be able to do much with these 2. So what I do, I'm going to just replace. Unfortunately, I had to change the size of the wood because I realized those 2 were too thick. Those I can use in the bigger and wider ones that I have there. They're going to be going into each other like that, so it's got a nice tight gap. So what the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be opening up a little bit of this and slide another piece of wood in between here, and that will incline, put some pressure on the nails here, and that will brace it forward. But you got to get it very flushed against the main beam. You have to get it very flush, so when you actually put pressure on it, it basically just push these forward. I'm just going to show you guys how I do that. So what I do is I raise one of the wood a little bit up just to there and squeeze the other bit of wood. Let's get that in there. Let's put a hammer down in between it. It could be any size really. You could use a smaller piece or you can use the exact same piece as well. And in that, I don't know if you guys can see that. So like that, and then I'm going to knock this down all the way till it gets to here. Let's get it a bit more flush as well. Just knock it back. It's going to be a little bit noisy, so I'm just going to knock this down. There's a bit of a light. That will create a lot of pressure at the joint here. Just put you guys down for a second and let you guys see it. Woo. And with that, by me knocking it there, I don't know if you guys can see that, but you can see the difference. It's pushing nice and easily off the joint. See, look how clean it is. And because it was raining yesterday, I didn't have to put any water on it, so it was naturally getting wet anyway outside. And you go along and you do it to each one. But when you get to the last one, you don't actually need to do that. I'm going to show you a little technique you can do, which is pretty easy. It's just pressurized as well. So what it is, I'll just remove those from this section and do the same thing over here. But guys, don't be in a rush. Take your time. This is not a rushing thing. But make sure you keep it flush, because you're trying to limit the possibility of the wood splitting using your hammer. Just knock it down, but guide it as well. Tap this one if it's necessary as well. Just manage the tempo. It's like beating a drum. And if you ever get to like this, guys, as well, if you ever get to like here, where you can see there's a lot of pressure in it, you can apply pressure with your hand onto this one here by putting your feet at the bottom of it and then your hand at the top, and just brace, and then boom, clean off. Now that you've done that for this one here, the trick I was going to say, just take your time and just take your time and do that. Pull the wood towards you a little bit and just twist. You just want to twist, and there you go. This one here had a little split in it, but it still you can still find use of it. So that was a little one that didn't want to come off. So once you have dismantled one complete side of the pallet, I'm going to use a very robust, not everybody wants to do this way, it requires a lot of physicality to do it. What it is, guys, you find something that's a bit bigger. You can use a brick if you have one. But generally speaking, it's ideal to use, and everybody can find these are slabs of wood. If you find them on the road, you can pick them up and bring them home and use them. So what I do, I put it underneath, whether it's central, right against the corner of it, and using my body weight. But be careful, guys, there's nails in them, so be super careful of those nails. I don't want anybody stepping on that and hurting himself. If you want to try my way, you don't have to do it my way. What I'm showing you, what I found is easier for me. And that gets rid of that. There's a little split there, but that's okay. I can still use the wood. Look at that, a perfectly clean piece of wood. It's not a pallet anymore, it's a wood. Always start from the corner, but when you get to the middle one, instead of placing the bit of block of wood underneath to elevate the pallet, place it on this side here, and that will give you a better opportunity to get the wood up. Don't worry about the crack, you are going to lose a few. Remember, guys, you can use this method on any pallet possibly, and you can get nice, clean. There's a couple, I think I broke one out of the whole pallet, completely usable wood. Thank you guys for watching my channel, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And if you're getting any value from this, hit the subscribe button. It's there. Come and join me on my journey. We can learn how to grow things, build things, and make a beautiful future. Thank you guys. Until next time.